There we go. Hey, everyone. I hope everybody's having a good Tuesday. It's Ash with TC Spotlight. I am here with Miss Sheila Clemmons. Lee. See, I when I got married, I've been married for 7 years now. I have never changed my last name legally. I've just been lazy. My husband tells me every anniversary, is this going to be the year you do it? And I'm just like,
Oh,
maybe. But I take it. I own his last name. He knows.
yeah. Well, actually, Mark, we've been married since 2014, and since Jocques got killed, he's become Mr. Clemmons instead of Mr. Lee.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. That's what my husband jokes. He said, "Man, I'm gonna have to get my last name to your maiden name." And I'm like, "Oh no, 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 no. I mean, I gladly want to. Yeah, I'll take yours. There's nothing wrong with that." Oh, I just want to share this into my page real quick. I am happy to have you here, and I hope anybody listening. When I say that, Sheila, it is because I am very sad for the way we've met, but I'm very happy that we found each other, and I can just help you get your word out there, get your voice out there, and what happened to your son. And that's what I mean by I'm happy for you to be here.
Yeah.
So you have recently come and done a interview, and we kind of really delve into things and what happened to Jay. Um, just for anybody that is tuning in, Jacques, tell me now.
Jocques.
Jacques J. Clemmons, uh, he was shot by an officer February 10th, 2017 in Nashville, Tennessee, District 20. And Sheila, you can kind of narrow it down. I know you're a little bit more specific when you talk about it. So if you want to give a more specific location detail, by all means.
Okay. Well, hello everyone. Again, my name is Sheila Clemmons Lee. I am the mother of Jocques Clemmons, who I call Jay, who was murdered by Officer Joshua Lippert on February 10th, 2017, due to a traffic stop.
Now, I want to start off. Like I said, we have done an interview, and we have really really delved into that. And so now I want to kind of zone in on a few things here from that. We've been talking with you about how long after did they rule that this was justifiable?
Within 5 hours.
But there was also somebody that was at the scene that also fled, and they didn't question them for how long after.
Oh Lord, I don't know. It might have been weeks or even a month later. Um, and then the person that was in the vehicle with him didn't talk directly to the police. They actually talked to an attorney
Mm.
and refused to go to the police department. This person that was in the vehicle with Jay, I knew who it was, and Jay and this person ran together practically every day. They even called themselves brothers. Um, I haven't talked to him since maybe 2017. Uh, yeah, it's been that long. Um,
So how did you feel when he was a little reluctant? You would think that he would
I,
be.
I I was upset. I was very upset, and now I want to meet with him and ask him why did he leave Jay? Because I feel like if the shoe was on the other foot, Jay wouldn't have left him. They both either would have been dead or they both would have been locked up. That's how I feel. Um, I do have mixed emotions about this young man because he is the brother of my oldest daughter through her father.
I see. So yeah,
So,
I can absolutely understand where
yeah,
you would think of all people out there that would be reluctant to speak.
yeah,
And which I get, I mean, especially you have an officer involved here. I can understand why there have been some reluctance there. Um, but given the situation, I understand how you feel.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
But they did not question this person
no,
for quite a long time, but yet ruled it. And now, officer, he wasn't wearing a body cam or nothing like that.
no, no.
I've scoped, and I have those. That's what I kind of wanted to talk about. Is bring up these videos and show. There were three of them, and I know, and I was telling you this before we hopped on here, that there were three videos. One showed the stop, and then when Jay pulls into the parking lot, then Lippert pulls in and he gets out, and that's where that one cut off. And then I found one where that one cut off, where they first, both of them got out of the car, and Lippert kind of walks over, and then they get closer. And then there was another one where Jay is running, and Lippert goes after him, and then what transpires after that. But I cannot find, I thought I had all three of them. For some reason, I cannot find the clip that actually has that middle before, after the rolling stop and before Jay runs. And I've
Mm,
scoped YouTube. I cannot find that video anymore, but I've seen it. You know what I'm talking about when I talk
yes,
about this video.
yes,
Obviously,
yes,
it was out there, and I
yes,
cannot find it. But I do have the other two, and I'm going to drop them, and I'm going to pull them up because I just want, and if that's okay with you. Um,
yes. I found I watched those videos 1,000 times plus. So
but
uh,
I tell you
I'm
what, and okay, before we do that, I want to make it very clear on why I want to do this, because back when this happened and these videos came out, there were talk of, talking with you, I'm assuming that there were other videos out there, but now when you search, it comes down to some version of what I'm going to play.
yeah.
So back in that time, they publicly put out there that
Oh
they
man,
lunged at this officer.
yes.
And the clip I seen, the clip that we cannot for some reason find now, is what I'm assuming they're basing that off of. And you could not tell in there. Have
Now, actually,
them
that
say
video that you're talking about,
that.
Jay
Explain
had,
that to
had
me.
already exited his vehicle and he's walking as Lippert is pulling up. And you see Jay kind of dancing around him. And then the next thing you know, he's running.
Yeah.
Um,
But there was no collision, like from that and what the officers were, I mean, what they publicly put out to everybody, they could not tell from their ass to ears on what happened. And so they went out and publicly stated Jay lunged at this officer.
yes,
But then I'm looking up and I'm seeing they had to publicly go back and redact that and say, oops, we're sorry. Jay didn't lunge at him, but it was already out there.
yeah, it was already out there. They had already tweeted that Jay had a gun, had a picture of the gun,
Oh, we're
um,
gonna get into
that
that too.
he attacked the officers. I mean, they had all of this narrative already out there before they redacted what they
Yes. And
said.
then come back and said, oops, sorry, we made a mistake.
Yeah.
Our bad.
And by then, everybody's already
The
formed an
damage is
opinion
done.
of him, you know.
It's done. Yeah. And that's why I was horrified, because I told you, me and my husband, we sat And this was before, I want to make that very clear, before I even seen the article about it, him, it being redacted or lunged at, any of that. When I first initially seen your little story that you wrote in the in the group, and you said that there was a video, I immediately went to YouTube and I started, and I sat there with my husband and I said, they never made you can't tell.
No.
You can't tell who, you can't tell what, you can't tell anything. And we watched it. Oh, we watched, and I don't mean to say this, in the way it sounds, but we watched those videos repeatedly. And I'm like, tell me where you see anything
Yeah.
that they said. I mean, so I just, for people out there that haven't seen them, I was going to pull the first one up is just of him coming to the stop, which is crazy because Lippert kind of just, let me get this up here. He just kind of zooms out of there out of nowhere, but you can't see things like where he's come from because, when I seen it, the
It's a
first thing
hill.
I wondered is how would he have seen it? Because like you can tell it's on a hill. Like
Yeah.
there's some type of let me see, maybe let me make sure I pull this. I think this is the right one. Let me make sure. No, it's not. It's the other one. There we go. I was trying to pull up the screen that we were on. I'm new to the share screen world. Okay, so I want to pop this up. I wonder if I can now make that bigger, right? Because I want everybody to see it. No, that's not the... Is that the one we want up right now? Yeah. There we go. Sorry, guys. I'm new to this whole... Okay, so I'm going to play this. Now, this is just the first initial J pulls up. And that's J, right?
That's Jay.
Okay. He's pulling into the parking lot. And then there's Lipper.
Mm-hmm.
And now from what I'm gathering, everything where he's coming from, that is a hill back that way, right?
Yep.
So, I mean, he would have just happened to come up on that hill. But this, what they're saying is Jay rolled the stop sign, pulled into the parking lot. Now, what is that parking lot that he's pulling into?
That is James Casey Homes. It's public housing.
Okay.
And it's located off of Shelby and 6. Shelby Avenue and 6.
And now in here you can see Lipper get out. Right there on the screen is Lipper, and then you see them kind of dance. Okay, so in between this one, then this is what I'm talking about here, right? Right there at the end, you see, oh, not back. Something happened there, okay?
Okay, right there. See, you don't see the whole thing. Jay is already out of his car. And at this point, it's like he's dancing, like he's trying to go around Lippert.
Yes, because in the other video that I'm talking about that I cannot find, it clearly it shows that. It shows that very much. Like in the way it looks here, does not, it's not the same as that other video was showing.
And
like,
see,
it's a different angle. It's a different everything. You see it to a different side. That you see Jay's car or SUV, you see Lippert's, you see that whole section right there.
And by the time Lippert would have pulled in. See, Jay parked like the first or second, or even maybe the third
Third.
parking from
Yes.
that entrance.
Yes. And that clip, that little clip that I thought I had and I saved, it wasn't. I actually downloaded 2 versions of this. So when I realized it tonight, I've been scoping YouTube to try because that's where I got it originally. Because it shows
Mm-hmm.
it completely different. It shows that whole right before that interact what we see there at the end there. It
Yep.
shows that whole thing before there.
Mm-hmm.
And but if you just show this, you can see I can see where they said they can now make that statement, but they had to redact it. They came
Right.
back and said, "Oops, I'm sorry." And I know because of that little clip that I seen that's not out there yet, and I can't find it. If anybody can find it, send it to me because I want to put it up because I had it and I had it prepared for tonight. And I can't find it anywhere. But it shows that whole little bit right before we see that interaction in the corner up there,
Mm-hmm.
and it's gone. So then after we have this, he rolls through the stop. Looper comes flying in, and you have the dance. Then we have
The
this.
foot chase.
Yes. Then we go to. Let me see here. Let me pull it up. There we go. Then we have this one. No, that's the one I just. Yeah. Sorry, guys. Yeah, I will get better. I'm sorry, Miss Sheila. Thank you.
Well, no, you fine.
Okay. I have too many YouTube tabs up for this, for being too new at it. I got to figure out a different way to do it. So then we jump to this. So after we don't have that section anymore. It jumps to this, and I'm gonna play it. It's I'm not, I apologize, Miss Sheila, but you know, I know you understand why we're doing this, or you wouldn't be out here speaking for your son. But anybody that's watching, um, it's hard to watch. It was hard to watch, and but I feel it's important to show for what we're going to talk about. So then it jumps from that to then that's Jay and Officer Lipper.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I want to stop here because at this point, I think it's good to bring back to this alleged gun that they said, he and I want to ask you, where at this point in the video are they saying that Jay would have what did they say happened?
They claimed that the gun fell by the cars, and he was trying to get the gun from the car. Now, right there, I don't know if he was just because if I'm not mistaken, when he went down, Lippert had already shot him.
Because
And
I mean, Lippert's arm is up. Even
yes,
here, he's just, Jay just got done. His arms are in there. He was spun out right before I paused it. But you can see Lippert has his hand drawn as if he had already had his gun out.
yes.
So I'm going to play this. I'm going to back it up just a little. Because he went down, came back up. Let's start right. I think it was about right here. See, yeah, there we go.
I just think that his arm was out as if
Well,
to he's trying to get up.
yes.
That's the second time he's shot.
Hmm.
That's right there. And if you notice, Lippert is really standing over him when he shoots him that third time.
That's exactly, me and my husband, we sat and, like I said, respectfully, Sheila, we sat and watched this video. I can't even count how many times we watched that video. And I kept telling him, and this was before, because he's sitting beside me and I'm watching this. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? And he's like, what? I was like, watch this, babe. And, I didn't say nothing to him. And he's like, well,
Yeah, see,
that
people
last
think that
shot,
Lippert
he
threw
shot
him down, but
him.
he didn't throw him down. He shot him.
Yeah.
He didn't throw him down. He shot him.
See Lippert's hand with that gun position. If you watch his hands closely, he already had that out. That
Yeah.
gun. Mm-hmm.
And then he falls right there. And that's where they saying that he was reaching for the gun. And that's why he was shot a third time, because he had ducked down between the cars.
No.
To get ready to shoot Lippert. And that's not the case. You see where Lippert just bent down?
Yeah. Yeah, let's go. I'm going to take it back there. Oh, here we go. Yeah, right there.
He bends down. Now, I have been told that the police, they carry throwdown guns.
Okay, because that's what I want to talk about. Nowhere in here did we, where would he have, they're saying it was in his waistband, right?
Right. But you don't see him going to his waist. He's just getting
up. He's trying to, yes, very much.
Yeah. He's not going for his waist. He's getting up.
So then, after this is all said and done from here, at least this video cuts out. Okay, I'm saying I have searched and I have not seen anything after this point, because then after this happens, it's done and over with. Lippert then says he goes back to the gun, picks it up, and puts it in the back of his trunk.
Mm-hmm.
And then he called, back up, EMS, everybody shows up. My thing is, this is a recording taken from, I'm assuming, and correct me if I'm wrong, Sheila, some building across the street.
It is a building, that's James Casey Public Housing. Those cameras are from James Casey.
Okay. So then it would have showed after.
Now the building that's right there in front of the cars, it had a camera on that building, which would have showed everything clear. But they didn't play the camera from that building. They played a camera that wasn't very close.
Yeah.
That angle is like it's coming from across the street.
Yeah.
It's not coming from that building directly. Now, one of those 3 cars right there, I want to say maybe the white looking one. I don't know if it's white or gray.
Yeah.
On the very end. If I'm not mistaken, that's the car that Stephanie Fry is supposed to be in. Their so-called witness that they moved on May 8th before Glenn Funk on May 11th said that he wasn't going to charge Lippert. So if you go back to where they are at that car, now she's facing that building. But she's saying that she saw Jay pull out a gun. Lippert is in her vision. not Jay.
Yeah. Ooh.
Yep. If you go back, you'll see Lippert is the one that's next to the car. It's not Jay.
Oh, yeah, here.
But she says that she saw Jay through her rearview mirror pull a gun. But if Lippert is standing there, how do you see that? They allowed her to leave that scene, and they didn't question her till 3 days later. Now, then she describes the gun, but you got to also think this gun is being shown on Twitter. It's been shown on the local news. So, yeah, you can describe the gun.
Yeah. Yeah. But my thing is, I don't think he ever had. I mean, there was, like you said, Sheila, in our interview, there was no DNA on that gun.
No.
They said that this gun was, so and so years old, and it was in his waistband. There's no DNA on there. Well, then did he wear gloves when he put it in his waistband? Did he not sweat? Did he not have? Did what? I mean, what did they? First of all, and then to boot, they cut off the very footage that they could have proved that, after, and respectfully, Sheila, after he walks away from Jay laying there and he supposedly picks that gun up and puts it, this video would at least clearly show that. Him going over, picking something up and walking out of camera shot. And then in the other shot that we have in this one, we should have seen him taking something back to
the car.
And putting it in his car, but we don't have that footage. They don't post that footage.
Not at all. Because you would think that from that angle, he would have been holding the gun, like, I guess, with his thumb and his index finger, just so he wouldn't, contaminate the gun. He contaminated it anyway, when he so-called picked it up.
Yeah.
Now, I with the attorney, the no good attorney that we had, let me just say that, he was like, Jay's fingerprints, his DNA is not on his gun. As far as I'm concerned, it's a throwdown. Okay. There were videos when it first happened, plastered all over Facebook, about people saying the police done killed this man or shot this man. Because at this point, we don't know if he's dead or alive when they're talking. And then you see all these police. You don't even see that where the police is. You don't even find that video where you see the police. It's a whole bunch of them now, and they're walking up where Jay first, right in this area, and stuff, and they immediately start saying the police is gonna plant something. They're saying all of this on these videos that, but MDHA, they have a contract with MMPD, and they started threatening to put people out that spoke about this shooting.
Huh.
Now, there was this one guy that did speak up, and he said that Lippert used racial language.
And I've always wondered, and that's the first thing. What did he, just seeing, what did he say?
Right.
What, and my thing is, and this is what I want to ask. This is what I wonder is, in this one, you have, and like I said, I can't find it. I'm going to continue to search for that video It was out there. I seen it. It was
Yeah.
there because I had it saved for tonight, and I thought I did because I seen it. My husband seen it. It was there that showed that little middle piece that we're missing there
Mm-hmm.
in it, and I will post it because I mean you in all together, and what I'm saying is if that happened with the gun situation, you would have clearly by the time he was done, you have him he should have been walking back to his car, and by the time we get back to this camera, Lippert Park's right there. We should have
Yep.
seen him opening up that car, opening that what he said he
Correct.
put it in the trunk.
Correct.
You should have seen him going back and opening up that trunk. And then that's the next thing I said, well, where are the people that seen this? Where are those videos?
Mm-hmm.
Screw this. This is just chopped up to what they want
Yeah.
you to see.
Yeah.
Where's their videos? What are they saying? And I don't see it. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's just like, oh well.
Because they have went to probably all those people, and like I said, you either take it down or get put out. Because those videos was plastered all over Facebook in 2017. Even like I said, even the one where you see the three officers standing over Jay, and he's still living, and they're not administering no kind of aid to him, none whatsoever. He turns towards the left, and they take a step back. Like I said, I've seen these videos over and over and over and over. Even the one, like I said, where the EMTs, they don't show the EMTs picking him up off the ground, but they show the EMTs slowly walking back to the ambulance, and his arm, because the ambulance is parked right there at that opening,
Okay.
right there.
Okay.
And they're walking up, and his arm falls out of off the gurney about right in here. And they just pick it up, put it back up on the gurney, and cover it up, and put him in the ambulance. And when I seen his arm fall, I said he's already dead. They were talking about he was in surgery. No, he's not in surgery. But at the time when before I seen that video, yeah, I probably would have thought that they had him in surgery. But after seeing that video of his arm falling, I'm like, no, he was never in surgery. They just prolonged it, made it seem like, okay, we got to make this look good, because they wouldn't even let me go back and ID him. They was asking me, well, did he have an arrest record? You already know he had an arrest record.
Which I wanted to bring that. I'm glad that you brought that up because I told you privately, I was it was sent to me. I did have his record. And a lot of it was, there was some assaults, which we don't know what those were. But the main what it come down to is he had a suspended license. He liked to drive. He didn't have his license. He would get in trouble for it, and he was
Well, this is the reason.
a felony. Let's just state that because
Yeah.
it's very important. Because if you look at this video, I will find that video because the missing video we have, it shows us, there was a substantial amount of time before that what we see at the end of here happened.
Right.
Okay. So one, if he felt so threatened, in my opinion, this is just my opinion, he had ample amount of time to pull out a taser, pull out,
Yeah, look how close he
you know what I
was.
mean? That should be the first thing that your hand goes to is especially with that time, that amount of time, that situation, he could have, and that's my opinion. That could have been the first time if he thought he was threatened, he could have pulled out the taser. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna state that. But what I want to know is during that time that Lipper is standing here. I'm gonna play it. During that time that Lippert is standing there and he pulls up, because I'm telling you, it isn't this cut and dry. He doesn't just pull up and this happens. There's a bit of time in there, a little bit of time. I want to know is, could Lippert have ran his name, or you, like you say, you have reason to believe that maybe Lippert may have known who Jay was at the time. Now,
Yes,
Jay had reason to be in this area a lot, right?
correct. His son lived in that building that you see uh in the parking lot.
Okay. So he had very, very good reason to be over there all the time. It was routine, you know.
Correct,
Um,
correct.
so my question is, I guess, is this a normal area that Lippert would be in
Yes,
regularly too? You know,
yes.
is this his neighborhood? Is this where he patrols? Is this his?
He was in that neighborhood often.
So, you know, it's
He,
very
Lippert was, I want to say it's called Flex Unit or something.
okay.
I think that's the name of it. Flex Unit.
Now,
And he patrolled that area a lot. And throughout the years, people have told me that Lippert knew exactly who Jay was. He knew the truck, he knew everything.
so I mean, really, it would be, and if so, it would be kind of irrelevant if he ran Jay's name or not at that time. He would have already known,
Yeah,
which is kind of, I mean, I wouldn't say conflict of interest, but that's kind of,
yeah.
yeah, he would have known.
And, going back to his arrest record,
Yeah.
which you say you have,
And I didn't know that you didn't have that.
I did not,
Girl, you
I
should have
don't
said
have it.
something for me when I told you I had, because I would have sent that to you right away, his mama.
And like I was saying, my brother always told me your rap sheet speaks for itself. If you're a rapist, that's what's going to be on your rap sheet. If you're, you know, a drug dealer, that's what's going to be all on your rap sheet. Majority of his is driving with no license.
Yeah, it is.
Yes,
It
he
is.
does have an assault on there, and he also has a drug charge on there. Let's just keep it
But
real.
that does,
This is
yeah, yeah.
this
No,
is called an uncomfortable conversation. We have to be real about our children. Our children are not always innocent. They did stuff.
Lord, I know I wasn't.
Okay. And he was on probation for that drug charge. And yes, he was facing 8 years if he was to do anything else. He didn't want to be taken away from his children after he caught that drug charge.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so he started straightening up his life. And usually that's how it works. When you start straightening up your life, shit happens. I'm sorry if I can't cuss, but it is what it is.
No, you could cuss. Jeez, Lord. You cuss all.
And
My
and
YouTube is set for 18 and older, just so everybody out there. So if children are, around, my YouTube clearly, they probably shouldn't be.
and so that's the background that they want to portray.
Yeah.
Jay
Yeah.
lost his privileges for getting a license when he was a teenager living in Murfreesboro going before Judge Donna Scott, which, we've heard the stories about her. And, I don't know if it
So
was,
knowing, but Jay, that's your
yeah,
son. I mean, I'm a mom. I would like to think that, I know my boy. So when you heard that this was coming out and Jay lunged at this officer and it was justified and he had a gun and all this stuff, what were just your first thought?
My first thought was he didn't have a gun. And the reason why I say that is, like you said, we all know our children.
Yeah.
If he had a gun on him, he would have shot back. And he was standing right there. He had every opportunity to shoot Lippert.
Yes. Yeah.
But he chose to keep running.
Yes. That, yeah.
You know, and I tell people that all the time. I know my child. I know him. And that would have been his first thought. You done shot me and allowed me to get up. So now I'm finna shoot you because it's going to be you or me.
Yeah.
And if I got to lay down in prison the rest of my life, then that's what it'll be, because I'm not going to let you get the best of me.
Yeah.
Let's just keep it 100.
I mean, I was raised, you don't go out and start shit, but if you have to defend yourself and you feel that you have to defend yourself, it's green light, go. And I'll raise my kids the same.
Yes.
Don't go out there being a bully, because I'll show you who a bully is. But if somebody steps in your bubble and you think that you need to, yeah, and then we'll go have ice cream, because
they tried to dehumanize him, by saying he was a criminal.
But nothing in this record, nothing that I've seen says that he would do the things that he did that day that they're saying that he did.
Right. Because on his arrest record, you don't see anything about evading the police. Now, if he's a runner, he's going to be a runner.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And it will be a known fact. Every time he came in contact with the police, he's going to run. So that what also makes me say, what did Lippert say to him that day? Did he say, and these are my thoughts only, and I'm going to kill you? Those are my thoughts. And that's what made him run.
That's where my, and that's, again, this is just my thoughts too, just from what I seen when I first, seen your story and hit the YouTube looking for that video. Those are my thoughts too. Yeah.
Like I said, the arrest record speaks for itself.
Those are my thoughts. But and then furthermore, this gun that comes out of nowhere, to me, you have, okay, fine, you want to take everybody else's videos down, you want to clip it however you want. But if you're saying that he had a gun on him and Officer Lippert picked it up and took it to, why would you want to clip that out then? Why would you not want the world to see that to justify what Lippert did that day?
Yep.
This gun had no DNA on of Jay's.
None. It had the serial number still on there. Now, if a criminal is going to be a criminal, let's keep it real. You go steal this gun from a correctional officer, you're going to solve that serial number up off of that gun. That's how they traced the gun back to the correctional officer, because the serial number was still on the gun, because the correctional officer never reported that gun stolen.
Which is crazy. I mean, that should be he should be, whoever that is should be in charge, that should be reported, and he should have made to have to report something like that. Just given his position is all I'm saying. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just given.
It was a she.
Oh, well, yeah. Sorry. But yeah, she should have.
Yeah, you would thought
reporting that.
You got a weapon out here that you use on a regular, and you did report it stolen.
Now, how long ago was this for? Now, I know we did an interview where we went into detail, but in case anybody, how long ago was this gun said to have been stolen?
2001.
Okay. Thank you. And no, none of Jay's DNA was on that gun.
Nope. There was prints on there, but they only ran the gun to see if Jay's fingerprints and DNA was on it.
Which is crazy. Especially if they're trying to prove their officer was justified. You know
Yep.
what I mean?
Yep.
You would think that they'd be showing that video of that man picking up that gun. They would be showing that evidence of Jay's DNA on there. If not, then it's Lippard's on there because of this, and we got the video to show that he bent down and picked the gun.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
The so-called attorney, he claimed that MDHA recorded over the tapings. And I'm like, why would they record over a high-profile case?
Absolutely.
Why would they do that? The second thing he told me was MNPD took that supposedly gun to the firing range because you can also test the bullets or whatnot to see if fingerprints are on there and see who loaded the gun.
Yeah.
But they took the gun to the firing range and fired it to destroy any type of evidence. Now I don't know if this attorney, and I'll just say his name because I don't care at this point. Michael G. Hoskins. He was telling us all of this stuff. How we're gonna sue for a wrongful death, blah blah blah. But 3 days before the statute ran out, you come and say, "Oh, I'm not gonna file the lawsuit." So now it makes me question: were you working with MNPD, or did MNPD pay you off? And I'm just gonna tell you, anybody that's listening, remember that name. And if he ever approach you in a case, please do not let him represent you. I've went to the board that you make complaints with attorneys and all of this. And I told them up front, you may not ever do anything to him, but at least it's on record.
Because I'm sorry, I pardon, because there was never any kind of reprimand for him. Was he? I'm sure he was taken on, put on some kind of leave or some kind of anything, right?
He was on leave. He also, while he was on leave, because after the Megan Berry scandal, he put in to become the the sergeant or whatever that officer that was involved with Megan Berry. He was after that position. And when I found out, I emailed Chief Anderson, and of course he didn't email me back. Don Aaron emailed me back stating that no, but I'm clearly seeing his name on this list to take on this position. I also know that Lippard was going to sue MNPD because he felt that he was cleared of all charges, so he should have been back on the street, but they wouldn't let him back on the streets. And it was probably due to the fact of me making a lot of noise about firing him. He made an announcement in 2019, maybe August or September, August maybe of 2019, that he was going to resign. And his resign date was October 25th of 2019. It was 2 years later. So he resigned. And, we all know that when you resign,
Mhm.
you can also go and be an officer somewhere else if you choose.
Yeah.
So, um, he, he resigned. And, I just pray wherever he is that if he is an officer, if he is an officer, or even toting his own personal gun, he will think before he pulls that trigger again. You know, my life and my family's life didn't just change, but I'm quite sure his family's life changed too that day.
Absolutely.
I know that he, at that time, he had a newborn because one of my church members had worked at the daycare where his child was going, but he quickly took that child out of daycare when she had on her car one day justice for Jocques. So the day that she had that on there, they pulled the child out of that daycare.
Absolutely.
So, but I
I think that it could have been handled a little bit. I
oh,
mean,
most definitely,
I
most
just
definitely.
in my heart just watching and just talking and I do. I believe that there was ample amount of time to do something
Yeah,
differently.
most definitely.
And I don't and this is just my opinion, and I firmly don't believe that Jay had a gun on him that day. If
Yeah.
there was, I think that they would have tried a lot harder to prove why Lippert was justified.
Yeah.
Why would that be so hard to and
And if it was so justifiable, then why did it take you from February to May 11th of 2017 to say that you wasn't going to charge him? Here recently, you know, we Glenn Funk is up for DA, and two other people are running against him, two females, and WPLN, uh, which is you know it's a radio broadcast.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Well, they contacted me and they wanted to know, was there any questions that I wanted to throw out there. Well, one of the questions was, why allow them to turn our children into suspects when they're actually the victims? You know, you dehumanize them, talking about they have an arrest record. You know, they even released that he had a small amount of alcohol and marijuana in his system. I'm like, that's no shocker.
Yeah.
What did you think you were telling? I mean, I knew my son. He
Yeah.
drank Bud Ice every day,
I'm a Bud Light. I like my Bud Light myself.
and he smoked marijuana. Who doesn't?
Yep.
You know. So you wasn't telling anything when you released that information, at least not to the people who knew him. But you painted this picture of him. He's a bad person.
Look at that smile. I think that
Yeah,
smile just says it all right there. That
you
smile.
know.
Mm-hmm.
And so therefore, these people that don't matter formed an opinion that he was a thug, he was a criminal, he was a drug user. He's, just because you drink and smoke marijuana, he didn't get drunk. He just had a few beers and took a shower, went to bed.
Doesn't matter. I used to get so
You
shit.
know,
I used to get so shit faced, Sheila. I'd black out. I thought it was normal. I thought it was just a normal Tuesday for everybody, and they're like, So,
you know, I did too. I did too. But I'm like, he didn't bother anybody.
but that
You
doesn't
know,
mean that
the
if there's
his criminal record isn't why he's dead.
yeah.
Let's just say that that day had nothing to do with what's on his arrest record. None.
And if there could have been something else, I mean, who he was and his and that it in my mind, and this is just my opinion, it doesn't erase there could have been something else done that day.
Oh yeah.
What it comes down to. If you had to use that force in the accept, yeah, then yeah, we'll stand behind you and it was justified. But I didn't see anything there. What I seen was there was plenty of time to do something else.
Right.
Needed to take him down that bad and put cuffs on him and do the whole shit, whatever. There was plenty of time to go another route, and he could have been here today.
Yep. I mean, like my daughter said, why wasn't the one shot enough? He was already injured.
Yeah. I mean,
Why
even
did
if
you?
he was, like you said, he was shot, he went down, came back up. I even, but then again, I can't agree with the initial first shot. So it led to the second or
Right.
I mean, that last shot, I told you, me and my husband said that he stood right over him.
Yep.
Totally. That last shot alone was totally unnecessary. There was no
Yep.
reason for that. In my opinion, and that's again, that's just what I seen, and that's my opinion. That's how I feel. That was execution. I mean, me and my husband just looked at each other like, "Holy shit!"
Yep.
I mean, maybe they could have said before that last shot, but that last shot pretty much sealed the deal for what I believe.
Yep. Me too.
And if he really went back and got that gun and picked, then there should be video for that too.
Thank you.
There should have been. And then
Thank
there
you.
should have been on the next camera video of him putting it in his trunk like he said he did. So
Yep.
where's that? I want to see that video. And I want to see any video, quite frankly, out there, anybody that was there that day that wants to come talk. Off the record is off the record here. I won't ever say your name publicly.
Right.
I won't ever do that stuff. But I would be very curious to hear and listen to what they have to say. Very much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
They're just, what it comes down to is I firmly believe that it could have been handled differently. There's just ample amount of time.
It is. It was.
Ample amount of time for you to be that threatened to pull out the taser, chase him down, taser his ass down that parking lot. I'm sorry, Sheila, for saying it like that, but
no, you're fine.
He could have pulled that taser out and chased him down that parking lot.
The truth is the truth, and I'll tell y'all this: majority of the police shootings that happen here in Nashville, the officers all come out of East Precinct. I want to shut East Precinct down. You don't hear of anybody else shooting anybody. It's all out of East Precinct. The officer that shot the young lady at the Dollar General, East Precinct. The detectives that's working on Susie's son, Eric McClendon's case, East Precinct.
Wow.
The officer Delkey, who shot and killed Daniel Hambert, East Precinct. All of these shootings are coming out of East Precinct. And all of these officers are getting off.
Wow. I didn't know that. That's something for me to look into. I did not know. I didn't make that.
They're all East Precinct.
I'll have to. Yeah. I want to check that out. Start scoping out what they're about. It's just a shame, and it just. I mean, that's just not even the word. That's just. at the end of the day.
And then there's nothing in Lippard's file concerning Jacques because Anderson never signed off on the use of force investigation part. He never signed off on it.
Oh.
And see, when I made that known to them, that's when, like a month or so later, is when Lippert announced that he was going to resign.
Oh,
I
wow.
made it known to them that I knew because NPR, a lady by the name, well,
You know,
one of their representatives contacted me and told me. She said, "Did you know that Anderson never signed off on the use of force, far as Lippert is concerned? There's nothing about your son in Lippert's file."
wow.
She said there were other shootings that happened, 10 or more, and one happened the same day on February 10th. Anderson signed off on every last one of those use of forces but Lippert. Yep.
I wonder where that stands today.
But
That'd be interesting to see.
yep.
Wow.
A lot of tapings and stuff. Um, I've talked to NPR throughout these years. And and if I'm not mistaken, before Lippert shot and killed Jacques, I want to say either somebody that worked in the flex unit or something. I can't recall the officer's name, but he was jumped in James Casey as well. Like, I don't know if it was like a week before or a month before.
Wow.
But I know an officer was jumped there before he killed Jacques. And he worked with the flex unit.
I see. That's
And I had to tell them, I'm like this. If I'm working a 9 to 5 job, and if I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing, the first thing that's going to happen is I'm going to get a verbal warning. The second thing is I'm going to get a written warning. The third thing is going to happen is, well, we don't need you any longer. So for Lippert to have I think it was 8 disciplinary actions against him and 20 suspensions, there's no way he should have been out there in the first place.
No.
Yeah. Because when we went to,
I wonder what those disciplinary actions detail. I wonder what the
I don't know, but
story behind those bad boys are.
One of them I know, and that was this young man, last name Gibson. I can't recall his first name, but he came in contact with Lippert. And it was so bad because I think he kept asking for Lippert's sergeant. Well, when other officers came out there, they forced that young man out of the car and all this other stuff. What transpired, I don't know, but it was enough to make that young man move. He lives in Murfreesboro. And when we first started doing the sit-ins at East Precinct, that young man came to East Precinct, gave us his name, and told us that's the same officer that I had an encounter with. I thank God that I survived. And like I said, I forgot his first name, but I know his last name is Gibson. he's terrified of the police.
Really?
He's terrified.
Yeah. Wow. I would be very interested in talking.
Yep.
That'd be very brave of him if he were to come speak. Wow.
And he came out there and personally told me that if it ever went to trial, he would testify on my behalf.
I believe there are so many people out there like that.
Oh yeah.
I do.
Oh yeah.
I do.
You know.
And then people like to give them shit, but you got to understand sometimes what you're up against but that's what makes them more the braver when they do.
Mhm. Mhm.
That's our, that's why it hits a lot harder.
You know.
And that,
I told.
and then speaking of that, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong here, at the midst of all this happening that day, and is it true that his kids were coming up on the bus? His son.
The bus couldn't get up that hill coming from the opposite direction because of all the police and stuff having the street blocked off. But yes, his youngest son who lived there,
Yeah.
yeah,
And I
he was there to get his son. Because I want to say school might have gotten out early or something.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I know that his son was on that bus.
And pulling up there, and I mean, and I don't know how old he was, and you don't have to say, but he was a. I mean, he may have not have known then, but
Right.
after everything came out, he knew, and just
Yep.
I keep replaying that in my head and imagining if it was and my heart just shatters.
Yep.
That I think that just breaks my heart so much.
Yep.
It's just the realization that he had to come to when he put two and two together. It
Hmm.
just,
I'm just grateful that they had the streets blocked off and he didn't see his daddy laying there.
thank goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah, I keep going back to that. Just seeing a yellow bus trying to go and this whole situation breaking out, and just knowing that he was on that bus, and later on he was old enough to be aware, and that just that does it for
Yep.
me. So if there's any way that we can say that, well, I'm publicly saying it again. Jay did not lunge out this damn officer. That did not happen.
And I'm saying it publicly too. My son did not attack Officer Lippert.
They said it, we say it, but they already put it out. But I mean, he did not lunge at that officer.
I'm gonna see if I can find that video and I'll
I
send it
I
to
know.
you.
I swear, Sheila, my husband's seen it. You seen it, and you know what I'm talking about. So we know it's the
Yeah.
truth, y'all. It was out there,
Yeah.
and it showed such a good, just that middle piece there. And
Yep.
that's where I had it. Boom, boom, boom. I was just really going to, and then I realized I copied and pasted both of his, at the stop sign. And I've been searching before we got on here. I've been looking like, and I'm scoping, but yeah, you find it, you send it to me so I can post it too. So everybody says this is the one we were talking about, because I think it's
Yeah.
important for people to see that, and it was there. So
Yep.
I don't know why. Maybe I missed it. I don't know, but that was the main one that I wanted to show. So I know I had it, and it's gone. So I will be, and if it does, I will come back on and I will go through that one too. Cause yeah, we will redo that. I want to play, I wanted to play them so bad in order like that. Cause that's all there is. There's no more
Yep.
than that. And that's my thing. If they're trying to prove all of this, okay, you took down the witness video, but these are all we needed to see everything that Lippert was where's the
Mhm.
bending down? Where's this guy? He should have taken it to
Mhm.
the trunk. Where is that footage?
Mhm.
That's what I want to know. And if anybody out there can, witness, I would love to hear what you have to say about that. That happened, didn't happen. Tell me what you seen that day. Yeah, I would like to know very much. And I'm sure you would like to hear it too, Sheila.
Mhm. They'll just confirm what I already know.
Yeah. But, and I'm with you on that. But just as much as they wanted to put out that Jay lunged at him and redact it, I think it's very important now to put out what really happened, what really went down that day as much as we
Yep.
can. We got to done
I
do what
also
they did.
I also feel like Jay recorded what
That's
was
why
going
that
on.
whole fun there. Yeah. If you guys go back and really watch the first interview that I and Sheila did,
Yep.
the phone, I do.
Yep.
I think
The
that
phone.
you said it came back smashed to bits. You couldn't even just do anything with it.
Right.
I think that's what they took as this gun. I think that Jay could have possibly been recording. I mean, in these days, why wouldn't you? I mean, everybody does. I think everybody can agree that that's very plausible.
Mhm. It's just like, they say that the sunlight, when the sun hits something metal, it gives off light or something.
Yeah, almost like
And
a
they
silver
they
gun.
were saying, yeah, and they were saying that, that when the sun hit the gun, you could see the light of it or whatever it is.
Uh,
And I'm like, his phone was silver metal,
okay,
the
yeah.
back of it,
Mm-hmm.
the back of it. And like I said, I'm not a genius, but I do know it doesn't take you to destroy the inside of that phone in order to go through it. I do know that much. And for somebody to have taken a hammer or whatever they took and just smashed the inside of it to pieces, and the back of it is still intact, the screen of it is still intact. It's just everything in the middle that was destroyed.
Well,
Why destroy the phone? Because he was filming what was happening. And it's possible at that point where you see him standing there and his arm is stretched, he could have started filming.
or you know what? That yeah. Now that you said yeah, but I mean, even then, what if that's what they were arguing? What if that's what was being said between back and forth before anything? He said some shit, and Jay would throw on the recording of the phone. Stop recording your phone. Stop recording your phone. Shit gets out of hand, and it could have just came very much down to him wanting to record what that officer was saying and doing.
Right.
He didn't have a body cam on it, and anything that happened would have been his word against Clippers. And what if he was throwing out his
And
phone then and
and,
then
and
all
it,
this?
it
You know,
would make more sense for them to
thrown
destroy the
away.
phone by him recording
Yeah.
something, because before him and Lippert, you look at all these different people who have came in contact with the police and have died, and and it's known that people had started to film what was going on.
Yeah. It is
So
very known. And that's what I'm saying. what you and that's what I'm saying. We don't know because he wasn't wearing a body cam.
Correct.
They're shutting down anybody that had anything to say that day.
Yep. And that's one of the reasons why we fought for the body cameras.
And Jay's not here to tell his side.
That's right.
And it just
He's told me though.
yeah.
He's told me.
Yeah.
Yeah. He came to see me and he told me. He was like, we both know what happened and we living in a white man's world and we can't undo what's happened.
And
Those were his exact words to me.
And he's yes. Yeah. I 100% believe that, Sheila. I promise you that.
Yep.
I do. Absolutely. And I was telling you right before we got on here, I said, let's call it what it is. I said, I'm not trying to make it go there, Sheila.
Yeah.
But if you look at it and everything going down, we got them saying that this black man, he lunged at this white officer, and then they
Yeah.
go back and try to take something like that back. Given two people, an officer and just a civilian is one, but then I mean, I hate to say it, that's what it is.
And that's what it is. That's what it
And that
is.
makes it worse. That just them putting it out there, jumping that gun in a situation, and they knew, and they know, and exactly what I mean by what situation we're talking here. So for them to jump a gun like that so quickly, and then have to
Yeah.
say, "Oh, whoa, 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 we didn't mean that. We take that back." The fuck? Are you kidding
Yeah.
me right now? And that's
Yeah.
just how I feel about it. Then they should, yeah, that's just how I feel about it. And that just,
I'm right there with you.
ooh, you can't say something like that in a situation like this and then just say, my bad. We'll just take it back now.
Yeah.
But it's still justified. So then, okay, then if that's what you were trying to, have your justifiable reason based off of, then where does that fall now? Where you go? Oh, he had a gun. Oh,
Hmm.
okay. Oh, okay. We
Yeah.
believe. I believe anything you're saying now. Jeez, it's just yeah, and I didn't know that until after I done seen these videos over and over. I mean, just literally about 2-3 weeks ago, I seen that, or I started digging after you came on, and I'm just like, I messaged you. I said, "Are you serious? They redact." Remember that I messaged you. I said, "Please tell me that what I'm reading right now." Did they
Yeah.
really redact this shit? Because I bet they had to. Because
Yeah.
hmm, yeah,
And why film over a profile case videotape this? Why?
it don't make sense. And
I
I think,
mean, they didn't know if the case was gonna go farther than what it did or not.
but like you said, and if that's how they were, they pretty much had it wrapped up within 5 hours, which is disgusting and sad to think about. If you think about it,
Hmm.
all of
Hmm.
that got wrapped up within a matter of hours, and you ain't talked to nobody.
Yep.
It's scary. It really is.
Not even the so-called key witness. Y'all let her leave.
So all in all, in the end, after all this, we didn't do it. We didn't do it. We didn't do it. And anybody who watched the interview you given, they ended up paying some of Jay's funeral costs.
$5,000.
So take
That's an
with that what
admission.
you will.
That's an admission all in itself.
Take what you, yeah. And then last we heard, Lippert resigned, and yeah, I mean, just take with that what you will, you know. And it's out there.
Yep.
This was a very. There are articles you can go look up and you can dive down. I mean, go look, go form your own opinion, go read
Yeah.
research
Please
and
do.
look it up. And I mean, by all means, come back and tell us what you find, because I think it'll
Google.
be a lot of the same questions and concerns that a lot of people have.
Yeah. You can either Google Jocque's name or you can even Google my name.
Oh yeah, as soon as, like I said, as soon as you wrote your story in the dark hole group, and you said that there was, especially when you said that there was a video and it's a big thing. You tried, yeah. You just type his name in and it'll all come up.
Hmm.
Except for this video clip that I was trying to show y'all. Some reason that's gone, but that's just saying it's a little sketchy.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's there.
It's all going to come out in the wash. The
Yeah.
truth will come out eventually. I just pray that I'm still living when it does.
Lord, I think that's the hardest thing is hearing that parents, they pass before they ever know, before they ever get that final say out there, that what really happened. And
Yep.
I've met some families that that have gone through that, and I think it's just a continue. I hate to put it this way, but just slap in the face even further.
Yeah.
Because even if there wouldn't be justice, and I'm sure you can agree, Sheila, a lot of families out there just want answers. They want to know
That's it.
why. They want to know what you're thinking. Why are you saying these things?
Yep. That's all we want to know. We just want the answers.
And if
You
justice
know.
comes through that, that is, hey, that's the end game, baby. But
Well, the true justice would have been to have our children. But since we can't have our children, then the second true justice is for the people who took our children's lives to be held accountable.
yeah, and I think even more so in people in positions like that. We're human, we're all capable of error, but they do take an oath. They are held to a higher accountable than just me out here, a citizen on the streets. Yes, is there moral things? That's another story, but they took that badge and they took that oath, and they should be held to just a little bit higher accountability than us
Yes,
regular folk.
yes, they should be.
Well, I thank you, Sheila, for coming on here. I've been wanting to just talk about these videos and break it down and just ask all the questions and see what we get back. I'm really in it. I really want to hear what everybody
I
was
would
able
love
to
to
stay
see it
quiet
too.
about that day.
Yeah,
I would really just,
yeah.
we want to know. I want to know.
I want to know.
On the record, off the record, I want to know. So I thank you for coming and doing this with me.
Thank you.
It's a it's a difficult road, and Miss Sheila, I hate to say this, but I think it's just a little difficult, more difficult for you. And
It is, but we got to keep answering the questions. We got to,
yeah,
keep speaking truthful
yes,
about our children, and stuff. And like I said, whatever our children's truth is, that's not what killed them that on those days.
yeah,
It had nothing to do with their truths.
absolutely. That's why I tell everybody, I was like, anybody that takes a look at my page can kind of see, the kind of the different backgrounds that come along with it, and it's just, it doesn't matter, it shouldn't matter. It's not why
Right,
that they're not here today.
right,
Why that we're not getting answers. Well, I mean, it is, because if you think about it, on their side, on the justice, on the investigation side, these people are these people, and they just seem to give the impression that they matter less. I mean,
Yeah.
let's be real. If that's
And,
what
and,
they
and
make Jay out to be, that's that's exactly who they're out there telling other people on drugs, people that struggle, mental disability, whatever these people are struggling with in their lives.
hmm
They
hmm
find some justifiable reason in that for why
Yep.
this happened, and no. If Jay was a drug, this thug drug, was he selling drugs in that parking lot and it
No.
this big old gang bust off? Okay, then it ain't got nothing to do with happening in that parking lot.
Right.
So,
Not nothing.
if you ask me, it's just Flipper was that scared.
And you have closed minded people who think that because you have a record, then yeah, you deserve what you got. Nobody deserves that. The only person that can that's supposed to take, well, he doesn't even take your life. Okay, God doesn't take your life. We are, that person shouldn't have took nobody's life.
Yeah.
Not my son, not your son, not anybody's child, son or daughter. Nobody has that right. And I don't care who you are, and I know that I probably got targets on my back because I speak out against the police, but I continue to speak out against them.
Yes.
And, I even told Glenn Funk just last week when me and Susie went to his office, you know, he's running by like nobody knows who you are. I know who you are. I know the type of clothes that you wear, everything. And for you to just run by instead of facing us, you know,
Yeah.
that's cowardness. Just like Lippert, he's a coward. Because I sat in the courtroom during some of the proceedings with the Hambrick case, okay? And I heard Glenn Funk say out of his own mouth, anybody that shoots someone in the back should be prosecuted.
Mm.
And I blurted out, why didn't you feel that way about my son? I blurted it out before I even knew it. If you felt that strongly that anybody that shoots someone in the back should be prosecuted, then why wasn't Lippert prosecuted? But I also let Glenn Funk know I'm not going away. You haven't seen the last of me. Yes, I've been quiet for about 2 years, but it's just so y'all will think that I've gone away. I ain't gone away. I'm never going to go away.
I spoke with Susie a little bit, and I don't want to go too much in because she has given me permission to post her podcast she did with To Catch a Killer, but
Mm-hmm.
and I will, but so I know the gist of it. Like I said, I haven't really gotten to talk to her yet, but they're not charging,
No.
and that is a crazy, just from what I do know, crazy case, and she has been willing to talk about it, so we're trying to get so she let everybody know in the group that they're not charging the guy, and I seen that you were there for her, and that's what it's going to take, though. That's why the dark hole is there, is they want you to think that you're by yourself, and I keep telling
Mm-hmm.
everybody they'll shut one of you up or two, but you guys are going to have to come talk all together. They
Yep.
shut you all up. Something's got to be done.
Yep. I agree.
But for them
Maybe
not
one day,
to have,
maybe one day you'll have me and Susie on together.
yeah, absolutely. Honestly, I would like that. Just knowing that you were there with her and you were supporting her there the other day, and yeah, I would love that for have you both come on and talk about your who because they're
Yeah, when they hear my name in that office, it's like, ugh.
yeah, I bet, and they should
Yeah, yeah.
they
They
should.
even they even have a security uh metal detector in that office now, with a security guard sitting at a desk with a sign-in sheet with visitor passes, and they have this thick glass in front of the reception desk now. All because of me and Miss Hammer.
Well, I mean,
Yeah. So they know who I am down there. They definitely know that.
well, if things are handled differently, that I mean, you make your bed.
Yeah.
You make your bed.
And I'll say this, and this is on the record. If everything that we have said, including with Michael Hoskins, if it's a lie, why haven't I been sued?
Yeah, because they would actually have to investigate things to say the things that you are saying are not true. And from what I've gathered, they clipped out anything we didn't want to see. So,
Yeah. And I've spoken out against Michael Hoskins so many times. It was like, hey, I'm out to destroy you, but you're not hauling my ass into court, defamation of character or anything. So it must be the truth.
and you would think,
Same with same with Glenn Faulkner.
I
You
bet
know.
that's what I was gonna say. You would think if anything that these families weren't saying true about those boys, they would be saying something or doing something. And Dunaway, he's pretty much. Well, let me look into these things. Give me a minute. And when we think that he's like gonna do something, he comes back. Well, I'm standing by my rulings. I'm sorry, grieving parents. Have a
Mm,
nice day.
yeah.
And it's nuts. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah. Our children don't matter to them, but guess what? They matter a hell of a lot to us.
I don't think they ever expected y'all coming together and talking. And I mean, because a lot of when I talk to them, they will come say, I thought it was just me. I thought I was just getting treated like this. I thought it was
Hmm.
just, and that I think that's the kind of they want you to think, compartmentalize everybody so y'all don't get together and compare notes, and
Hmm.
that's what's happening. And I don't think they're gonna find that they like that too much. I don't think they do.
Nope.
And well, we'll see what happens. I know what I'm not very political, y'all. That's why I don't really bring it to the table here. But I know some gentry guy. He's running. He's got at least Dunaway and Funk under fire. I know he's got it out for him. He's wanting to air out their dirty laundry, and I hope he does.
I
So
hope so too.
I know there's one other on his list. I can't remember. I must not have uh, had him brought to the table, brought to me a lot. But I know there's another one he's going after. But I know Funk and Dunaway's one of them. He's got it all over his Facebook. So yeah, air out their dirty laundry. It's time.
Yeah, it is. And like I told
Stand
Susie the
behind
other day, I told Susie, I said, you always remember this. Every dog's got its day.
it. Yeah, I think that day's coming.
Yeah.
You guys all come together. I mean, I really do. I don't think that they were prepared for that. And with them not being prepared. I think y'all have the upper hand because now you're all popping off and they're like, oh my gosh, what are they going to say
Yep.
now?
And it's election season.
Yeah. So we better, yeah. So I hope that whips them in,
Yep.
out with the old, in with the new. And, like I said, I'm not too political, but just make sure you're really paying attention to who you're picking and you're putting up there.
Yep.
That's about all I can say on that level with that.
Me too.
But I don't want to keep you on here for too long, Sheila. I thank you coming in for breaking this down with me and answering and helping me confirm that there's a missing gap here tonight. But I assure you, it was there. We will find it. I will continue to try to find that little clip that I was talking about.
Okay.
And yeah, if I want to hear from anybody that day that'd be willing to come talk, and if so, you know, come paint me a picture so I can figure out how to come talk about it if you don't want to come on. And I will be back. We will
All
go.
right.
And if you free, like I said, Sheila, after this, we broke this down. Watch both of your videos, and if you got something else, want to come back. We didn't talk about this. Well, come on back. We'll talk.
I will. I will.
All righty.
And I thank you for having me.
Yes. Yeah. I hate the circumstances, but I'm very, very glad that I can help you. So you have a good night.
You too.
Oh, thank you. Thank you guys for being here. I've been wanting to talk about those videos since I've seen those videos. And like I said, I did have that missing piece there. And if anybody out there is good at scoping YouTube, go back and watch. There's a very important piece in there that I had that was missing and I can't find, that I wanted to bring to the table. And if we can find it, I rest assured I will be back on here and we will go down. I will go through all 3 videos like I wanted to. I thank you for having us. Please share because I really would love anybody to come talk that was there that day, on record, off record. Off record is off record. I will find a way to hint lightly at it and bring it to the table without having your name or any of those things out. You can come join my panel on, like Sheila did, anonymously. You have control of all of that, your name, whether your face is on screen or off screen, little picture like mine, however you feel comfortable. And that goes for anybody out there on any of the stories you hear on my channel. That's just how we do things. I thank you for listening tonight, and that is all we have for you guys tonight. This is Ash with TC Spotlight. Until next time, you guys stay safe and have a good night.